Hey guys, Cam for 15, back out with another video for you guys, joined by my Uncle Daryl. Here talking about another Chicago Bears loss. Now, if you're wondering why was I not doing a game recap for last week's game against the Lions, well, I went out to a career job fair or whatever, and then I went to the freaking the Chargers Broncos game after that, because they gave us free tickets for attending. So I watched the game. I thought they played great. And then you come on and you turn around, and this is actually a pretty good test for the Bears because, they're in the hunt of making the playoffs. Some outside factors have to happen. Um, Today is just a loss. Yeah, the freaking Atlanta Falcons, who can't beat the stupid Carolina Panthers. I saw the game. Apparently, it was really bad conditions. I guess Desmond Ritter, they were in the red zone. He throws a really stupid interception to nobody. Panthers go
I'm
down.
sorry. Did you just say the Panthers beat the Falcons?
Yes, 9-7. The Falcons couldn't score more than 7 points. So now that the Bears still have the first pick, but now if the Panthers win another game this season, there's a legitimate chance that the New England Patriots will take the first pick in the draft because the Atlanta Falcons can't do their job. You're telling me you can't score more than 7 points? I understand that game when I looked at it, I'm like, oh shit. Oh, hell, it's pouring down rain over there in Carolina. Who cares? Run the ball. You got Bijan Robinson. But it seems like Atlanta keeps neglecting him for whatever reason. But that's not good. That's not good.
Can't believe this. This is unbelievable.
It's particularly, if the Bears had lost today, it still would have sucked. But if the Falcons had won, all right, we still got the first pick. We got a commanding lead still. But now we're in fear of the Panthers winning another damn game, and we might lose the first pick. So everything might actually be backfiring. Anyways, the Bears chose a perfect time to not show up when they need to freaking do their jobs. Now, for 3 quarters, they ended up doing their job. Defense was killing it, getting turnovers on Joe Flacco, 3 turnovers. Yes. Offense is all right, but even then, you're getting some points, I guess. Then the fourth quarter comes, and the last few games they talked about, well, in order to win games, we need to start finishing better. Well, tonight was the exact opposite of finishing, the exact opposite of what they did the last 2 games, where they finished a game completely. They didn't finish a game. Defense, for some odd reason, they just let Joe Flacco go down the field twice to not only tie the game, but to take the lead. Then the offense, well, they can't do nothing because your offensive play caller has absolutely no play calling. And this is a stupidity. So the offensive drive before the Browns ended up tying the game, I'm just like, maybe we should just run the ball, run the clock, make it 3rd and short, so it's manageable passing situation. We did elect to pass. And just, all right, let's get Justin Fields killed again. Where your offensive line, even though it's now down Tevin Jenkins because he got out of concussion, basically, you got to go back to good old not Lucas Patrick, Cody Whitehair. So your offensive line is absolutely getting blown up whatsoever. So let's elect to pass the ball. And then after the Browns tie the game, what's the first play they run right out of the tie game? First drive after the game's tied. This OC, we've been saying it for weeks. This OC has no clue what he's doing. After he gets out of his scripted plays, he just doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know if I should run the ball. He doesn't know if I should call the game. There's no rhythm to the offense. No rhythm, absolutely. And it doesn't help when there's a lot of issues on offense. In some instances, some plays, your quarterback is effing up because he's holding the ball too damn long and he's taking stupid sacks. On other situations, it's perfect play call. The offensive line can't do their job and block. Then you have the situation, all right, quarterback, offensive line, they're on sync. Then you have several instances in this game where the receiver can't catch a wide open pass, aka Robert Tonyan. That should have been a touchdown. And then at the end of the game, people keep saying, well, we can't return Fields if he can't go down the field and score in clutch situations and go win his team a ball game. Now, personally, I don't know why Luke Getsy on like the second to last play before the Hail Mary didn't run some simple 5-yard out route just to catch the ball and get out of bounds and make maybe a field goal attempt. Or even if you dare want to go a Hail Mary, it's a better chance at getting a Hail Mary. But does Luke Getsy know? I see that play. I see receivers just streaking upfield. He has no clue what to call. Then, on the Hail Mary play, again, there's Bear fans out there that say we need to get rid of Fields because he can't lead the team in critical situations down in a game to go win us a football game. Fields makes the throw. Ball gets batted in the air off a Hail Mary. Darnell Mooney on his back has the ball come right down to his chest, and he drops it. That would have been the game-winning touchdown right then and there. Keeps your playoff lives alive. But because one receiver doesn't do their job, and hell, even earlier on that same exact drive, Tyler Scott drops a pass that would have put them at midfield with more time left to go. All I'm trying to say is it seems like we're in the same situation we were last year. Last year, we had no receivers. Maybe you had Kmet, really, where that's the only trustable guy. And then everyone else is just, they can't hold up their end of the bargain. This year, it's DJ Moore or Cole Kmet as the receivers that do anything or everything, basically. And then nobody else does anything. And yes, that includes Darnell Mooney. I love Darnell Mooney. I really did. After his 1,000-yard season he had, I was like, okay, he's not a number one, but he might be a solid number two receiver. And then after this new regime came in, I don't know. He has really fallen off a cliff. And maybe the injury had something to do with that. But this year, he has just been really, really bad this year. And after I saw that play where he dropped that, I'm not surprised if they just say, hey, Darnell, thank you for what you did. Bye. There's too many chances this year where he's had opportunities. He either drops it or, frankly, it's also on the offensive play caller and Luke Getsy. He doesn't give him the opportunity. So you wonder, so people always question, why does Fields not throw to anybody else outside of DJ Moore or Cole Kmet? Because he can't trust anybody else. They're either dropping passes or they can't execute well enough. You know, I like Darnell Mooney. I really do. But at the end of the day, he's got to make that play. Whether you're on your back or not, the ball's right there to be caught. That's an easy catchable play. And there was no defender right there that could have broken it up on the ground right there. He's on his back, could have caught it, won us the game. We escaped Cleveland by the skin of our teeth and win the game. Justin Fields, I can't really fault him. He didn't have a perfect game today. But he did what most Bear fans want him to do. Lead the team down the field, give him an opportunity to win the game. He made the throw. His receiver didn't come up and catch the ball. Outside of the fourth quarter defense, I thought the defense played great. Then the fourth quarter happened, and then boom. But at the end of the day, before I turn over to my uncle, this is another blown game on the season. We blew the game against the Broncos. We blew the game against the Lions. We were up in those games. Another game we were up against. And Dare, you can make the point. All three of those teams where we blew those games, those are like playoff caliber teams. Broncos are kind of on the fringe, but they could potentially make the wild card this season. Lions are a playoff team. The Browns are a playoff team, even though they got Joe Flacco. And you blow another game, your third game in the season. At some point, we can blame the players so much. At the end of the day, it's up to the coaching to make sure they're calling the best plays to put this team in position to win games. Luke Getsy completely goes AWOL and doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know why he's not gone yet. They want to keep spreading this BS. Well, we can't turn to nobody. Who else is going to do it worse? I don't care if Andrew Janoku hasn't called a play in his life. He can't get no worse than Getsy. There's no rhythm to the offense. And I know people have been saying about Eberflus, the way he's been having the defense play, it's been really good. And he's making the case that he could return. I still want him gone. That's nice. We already know. We've already said this. Matt Eberflus is just a really damn good defensive coordinator. That's all he is. There's nothing wrong with that. That means he's still a good coach on the defensive side of the ball. In terms of running the whole operation, no. If you're blowing 3 games in the season, I'm showing you the door. And they're basically against all playoff teams where, hey, you'd technically kind of be in the playoff if you had beat the first 2 teams that you blew games to. But this is a team loss, to be honest. Team loss, the coaches, the players. This should be the game that ends the season, and this should be the game where Ryan Poles should not be convinced. Just get rid of the coaching staff, get new people up in the building. And obviously there's going to be changes from a player perspective.
Where shall I start? For me, it was clear that the Bears wanted to attack Cleveland down the field. From the very first play of the game, they were going down the field. But the offensive line sucked all game long. I'm so tired of Nate Davis. I don't even know what to say.
Nate Davis has been atrocious since coming back from his injury.
My goodness gracious. I can't even explain how bad he has played. Luke Getsy, in the first half, they were basically 10 yards off the line of scrimmage that last drive. They were dinking, they were dunking, they were getting out of bounds. They had one more shot to do it again, and yeah, they were 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, well within Santos's field goal range, which is his career long of 55 yards, which I think he's done twice this year. I just don't understand, why would you go for a Hail Mary at that moment? I just don't understand it. Flacco broke coverage, rolling out to his right hand. And it seemed like every time he rolled out to his right hand, he picked his defense apart. From the touchdown to Njoku to various first downs. I mean, every time he rolled to his right, he made something happen. The Bears kind of chilled on that and stopped it in the third quarter, but he broke free again. And I mean, golly gee. And again, we talk about this all the time, Cameron. It's like, we're novices here. Let's be honest. We don't get paid to do this. We just do this because we're fans of the team. We love football. If I can notice cover 2 and I'm screaming and hollering, cover 2, cover 2. If I can see cover 2, what do you think Joe Flacco sees?
Cover 2.
Cover 2. And what do you do with cover 2?
Beat them deep.
Automatically the corners are going to release the safeties at some particular point, but it just depends on how far you are off the line of scrimmage. Sometimes you can see cover 2 based on how far you are off the line of scrimmage. I'm just sitting over here, I'm screaming and I'm hollering, cover 2, cover 2, go man, go man. And Cooper comes all the way across the other side of the field, and he gets in between that pocket where the linebacker stops. The safety goes back, and the corner is to release whoever it is, just to release it off to the safety.
Yep.
He just threw it right into the pocket. Touchdown, because the receiver that leaked out, once the cornerback released the wide receiver that was wide, all he did was went and go block the safety. Easy cheesy. I'm just like, man, this you can't make this stuff up. That defense was lights out in the third quarter. And I'm gonna say this: Kevin Stefanski needs to be coach of the year. That dude has had so many injuries. He's had so many problems with that football team physically. He's basically running in there second and third string offensive lineman. And I mean, he wins again. He wins again because he damn good. I'm so sick and tired of Eberflus getting out coached, and everything that's been talked about up to this week is retaining Eberflus because you can't have him as a defensive coordinator, and the defense retaining Eberflus. And I'm like, if you retain Eberflus, you know that joker gonna keep Getsy.
Yeah.
Because Getsy was his hire.
He doesn't want to fire any of his guys unless they're getting in trouble for HR. Unless they get in trouble for HR violations, he ain't firing them.
He's a player's coach, and he looks out after his staff. Admirable qualities, no doubt. But at some point, what happens on the field must take precedent over what's going on in the locker room.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, Luke Getsy got to go. He got to go. This don't make, I mean, he up 17-7. 17-7. And he coaching football like this game is a wrap. I mean, this you can't make this stuff up, man. I mean, you literally cannot make this stuff up. That last play, if I'm correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was 3rd and 10 when Joko got released off of Bears blitz. Granted, great. You finally blitz. Honestly, was that the time? Honestly, to blitz is going to be debatable. I personally, I don't think I would have. But one thing I know I would have, if I was going to blitz, you have to keep account of the tight end and running backs. You got to keep account of tight end and running backs. But at the same time, though, you got to get the Flacco quick enough so he doesn't have any time to check down. Which means the Cleveland offensive line did their job. They held long enough for Flacco to get the ball to Njoku. Just Kevin Stefanski, man, he knows how to coach football. And here it is again. I'm on this doggone show, and I'm applauding the opposing team's coach again. You want to know why? Because Matt Eberflus is not a good head coach. He's a great defensive coordinator.
We could go back to here's a quality of not a good head coach. At the end of the half, we elect to go Hail Mary at the end of the first half instead of just kicking the field goal. If he
it would have been the 55-yard until it was on the 38, 30, it was the 38, 36, 37-yard line, something like that. It would have been rough. It's in Santos's range.
And if you make it, it's 20s. You get an extra 3 points on it. And who knows? Maybe that means
something predictable like a Hail Mary. Man,
I think that was another. I thought that was another critical.
I got it with the weather, with the way the weather conditions were, and how the defenses were playing lights out. Man, the field goal was the obvious move.
Yeah, I don't know why. I accounted that to Eberflus coaching scared, coaching not to win, coaching to lose. Look, if he misses it, he misses it. You still get the ball back coming out of halftime.
And a couple other things too. Darnell Mooney, let's get on him real quick. I know you got on him earlier today. That 4th down play in which Fields got tripped up, Mooney looked lost. He didn't know who to block.
When I coach, our coaches would always tell our players, listen, if you don't know what you're doing, especially on a blocking assignment, just find somebody and block them.
Hit the first guy that coming airspace. You had a guy that was probably about 10 yards back. Mooney running towards him. Why? When you know it's a rollout. And then you got a guy blitzing, then he's like, oh, this guy's coming. Dude, you wait right there to see which one of them jokers come. And most times you get the guy on the inside anyway, because that's the guy that's
Yep.
going to be able to get to your quarterback. They called a guy in motion. I think it was DJ Moore.
Yep. I think he ran outside so he could try to get the defense's attention away, like it's a pass. Fine. John Mooney doesn't do his job.
And then on top of that, someone went with him, which means man defense.
Yep.
I'm like, Mooney, golly gee, man, dude, really?
And the guy who you're supposed to block ends up tripping Fields enough.
Ends up making the play. Great play. And I want to go back to the end of the first half as well, too. The young lady that was refereeing, she made an awful call. She actually called, first of all, she said, run the clock. And then she called for the clock to stop. They never went back to check that call. We lost 3 to 5 seconds just on that alone to end out the first half. If they would have went back and saw what she did, but they didn't.
And that's on the coach. You're the head coach.
That's on Eberflus.
And say, hey, dude.
Eberflus should have been the one to call that out.
You know,
she said stop the clock. Why do I have to use my timeout when she clearly said stop the clock? You all want to instant replay something? Instant replay that. She did this. She did this, which means run the clock, keep the clock going. And then she did this.
Yep.
Means stop the clock. The time in between her doing this and this, about 3 to 5 seconds ran off the clock. And we had to use the timeout because of it.
Yep.
But at the same time, that's on Eberflus.
Yep. It's just no situational awareness.
No.
It's clear that these coaches, all of them are way over in their heads. Eberflus, he, again, to his credit, he can call defensive plays up until it seems like when it matters most to an extent sometimes. But he's a great defensive coordinator. That's fine. Oh, no, actually, I'll take back that great. He's a good defensive coordinator. Getsy, you can clearly tell he's way in over his head.
Yeah, he's way over. You made a great point by simply saying, hey, the scripted calls, the scripted plays, oh, yeah. They're fine. But once you have to make adjustments to come out in the second half, that's fine. But when all of that fails and you got to dial something up, that's where Luke Getsy falls beyond the pale.
For example, look at the first touchdown they get on the goal line. They should have got a touchdown from the jump. I'm over here watching. The box is stacked. The Browns are stacking the box. I'm like, it's simple. You run to the outside. You either run a toss play or you have frickin' Justin Fields do a play action rollout and he takes the ball out himself. Who cares if somebody's keeping contained? I don't care. Justin Fields against a defensive end, I'm taking Justin Fields' chances.
Every time. Every time. I will say this. Man, Justin, you gotta get rid of that football, dude. When a rush is coming at you like that,
oh yeah,
man, don't hold on to the ball, man. Yeah. Get rid of it.
And I think it was like before they
tried to collapse the pocket. They tried to collapse the pocket and failed, and all he had to do was roll out to the right.
Yep. And then I thought there was times too.
Yeah, I was gonna say they really didn't spy him in a lot of passing situations. They really didn't. They just blitzed him with Orusu Koromoa.
Yeah.
That dude was, man, in the fourth quarter, it was all about him.
Yeah.
They couldn't pick him up. And they moved him around a lot.
Yep. Yeah, Phil, it's like the coaching staff ingrained in Fields. You got to find somebody. You can't take off and run. Because there's instances where
you just throw the ball away.
Yep.
You just can't throw the ball away. Stay up in there. Take your hits. Make the right reads. Okay, I get that. But give him a play to call, dude.
Like it isn't that hard.
I mean, and you get when things break down, that offensive line was horrible.
Yeah.
So you should have been trying to develop things to get the ball out quick.
Fast. Slants.
Kept trying to go down the field. How you gonna keep going down the field? And I'm sorry, it wasn't just it wasn't just one person on the doggone Browns defensive line that was getting in the backfield.
The DBs were.
Cormore is a linebacker. He's not a defensive end. But
I got to look at the stats.
But Garrett was getting back there. They did a good job of double teaming him with Kmet, but that left open the other three guys that's rushing. And then they dialed it up in the fourth quarter when they got desperate. I mean, Matt Eberflus got out-coached again.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That's what it boils down to. Matt Eberflus gets out-coached again.
Yeah. Justin Fields dropped back 40 times, and we only ran the ball 27 times. I do think we could have run the ball more.
Yeah. And just like I've always say this as well too, sometimes the threat of the run is more powerful than a successful running game itself.
And look at this. Roschon Johnson, 5 carries. Khalil Herbert, 6 carries. Foreman, 6 carries.
How many carries to Fields? Probably about the same.
7.
About the same.
He doesn't
and who is our offensive coordinator?
Yep. You know, in a game where it's a lot of rain and everything, you'd think you run the ball.
He probably think he called a good game. And blaming on the players. They just didn't execute.
Yeah.
And I think you're right about Mooney, man. Mooney ain't been.
He hasn't been right since he got hurt last year. I don't know what the mentality is. I don't know, like, if the pressure to him to make plays so he can get money is getting to him.
I think when they got DJ Moore, mentally he was gone. That's you can make the
sorry. But you can make the argument when they drafted Tyler Scott, because, you know, some people were like, hey, Tyler Scott could potentially be Darnell Mooney's replacement.
Yeah. And when for me, there was just no continuity once Moore was brought in.
Yeah, him and Fields' connection is like gone now. There is no connection whatsoever. Even when Fields throws his way, it just.
I think Moore's hurt.
Because he got hurt last week because they turned him into a freaking running back last week. So his ankle's all messed up.
And they did the same thing with Velus Jones. Made him a running back.
Well, honestly, I'd rather do that because that's all he's best at.
Well, I mean, he did well today. I mean, I got to admit, I have nothing bad to say about Velus Jones.
Yeah, because he didn't do anything stupid.
It's Taylor that I'm like, dude, what the?
Oh, yeah, let's get to that. So here,
gracious.
So Taylor muffs a punt early in the game. He muffs a punt early in the game.
That's correct.
I'm like, all right. You probably have a stern talking to him, and you say, hey, don't do it again. We'll take you out the next punt return as a lesson. We're going to send somebody else back there. Then you're going to get your opportunity again. Guess what? After we get a 3-and-out after the defense is killing it, he muffs the punt right then and there. And the worst part is, I'm like, I have a feeling. I'm like, we got the 3-and-out. I'm like, this is going to be one of those typical Chicago Bears moments where somebody's going to mess up and it's going to change momentum in this damn game. And next thing you know, I called it. I'm like, he muffed the punts. This time, he gives it up right then and there. And after that, I legitimately tweeted, don't bench him again. Or bench him. Don't even let him see the field. So next week against the Falcons, I think we play them for the Falcons next week, he should not be back there. Teach him a lesson. Say you're benched, we're going to put somebody else back there. As long as not Velus Jones, we're going to put somebody else back there.
That's not going to happen.
I know. They're not going to hold him accountable. So if he fumbles again against Atlanta, the coaching staff only has himself to blame.
And luckily for us, Stevenson came up with that pick.
Yeah, otherwise would have been a touchdown.
Otherwise, I gotta admit, we would have lost this game way earlier than that.
Yeah. The
Now
defense did their job.
I did like how the guys rallied around Taylor, though. I will tell you, as a coach, I love how the players rallied around him and they got his back and they got the football back. But at the same time, muffin punts is a problem.
Yep. And this is the same guy that Ryan Poles said, hey, I could turn around without looking, and I trust him to catch the football. Now you're going to have to think about that in meetings and be like, can we trust this guy?
Something wasn't right with him today then.
Yeah, something wasn't right. Maybe the rain got in his eyes or something, or maybe he was afraid that he couldn't catch the ball in the rain or something, but that's unacceptable. And yeah, for players, obviously players, you're going to have each other's backs. But as the coaching, that's when you pull them over to the side, special teams coordinator or whatever, head coach. You say, hey, dude, you're taking a seat.
Yeah.
Heck, even in practice. No, you're not first team for special teams punt return. Hey, Joe Smo, come over here. You're returning punch. You're the starter now. Earn it in practice.
I mean, but the muff punts, the drop passes, the inefficiency to allow Fields enough time to throw the football. Fields holding on to the ball too long. I mean, Getsy and his inability to just dial up offense on the fly. Eberflus has shown he can. Eberflus has shown he can dial up a defense on the fly.
Yeah,
he has shown he can do that. The problem with Eberflus is damn dude, man, why are you playing cover 2 so doggone much?
Especially in critical situations. I was screaming, just blitz the guy. Who cares?
Blitz the guy. Play a man defense. 2 safeties in the back. I mean, come on, man. It's like everybody in the building know you gonna run cover 2. And cover 2 really only works when you can get a really good pass rush onto the quarterback with your 4 down. And if you can't, then you know where the ball's got to go. Yeah, and you know where the ball's got to go on cover 2, right to the sideline. The second that cornerback releases that wide receiver.
And heck, if you don't play cover 2, if you're going to sit back in zone, play cover 3 or cover 4. You got your corners dropping back. Not sitting out in the flats doing nothing while somebody just crosses their face. Yeah, this coaching staff's got to go. This should be the game that...
I got to admit, I was never a fan of keeping Eberflus.
I wasn't a fan either. And I was like... I was like, oh, great. These dudes, the defense is playing lights out. And knowing the Chicago Bears, because I know them well, they're going to say, he's got the defense playing really good. If we can fix this offensive issue,
let's retain him.
Let's get him back here. Yeah. And then what are they going to do? They're going to probably bring Luke Getsy into his office. Hey, what do we need to do to improve the offense? And you know what Luke Getsy is going to do? He's not going to say, I could probably do a better job. He's going to say, nope. Well, we could probably improve the quarterback position.
We need another quarterback. I need a quarterback that I can trust. I don't trust Justin Fields.
Somebody that can sit back in the pocket and just pick defenses apart. Then if I was the GM, I'd be like, oh, that's nice. That's great. We have an athletic quarterback.
But at the same time,
there's also athletic quarterbacks in the draft too.
Well, see, that's just, I'm sitting over here as an offensive coordinator. How in the blue hell can you sit up and say you can fix this by drafting another rookie?
I don't want him touching it. If we were to take a quarterback, I'd be afraid. I wouldn't want Caleb Williams if we were to draft him, if we still have the first pick, to even be within hair's reach of Luke Getsy. I would immediately show him the door.
I do not want this football team to be speaking about ROC like they did with Matt Canada in Pittsburgh. They've been trying to get, they finally did release him, but after how long? 2 seasons? 3 seasons? I don't even want to get in the point that we even start even thinking about that with Getsy. Getsy needs to be gone today. There is no excuse for the futility of this offense. None whatsoever. Get rid of him.
This should be the game that does the entire coaching staff. I saw a tweet earlier about the Bears blowing games or whatever. I gotta see. I gotta see if I can find it.
Wow, the Texans came back on the Titans, huh?
Yep.
That's interesting.
Can't find it. I can't find it. But a Bears beat reporter perfectly made this in a tweet before we get out of here. He talked about the blown game against the Broncos, how there was still a lot of time left and you blew that game. The Lions, the first Lions game, where you had 4 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. You blow that game and you were up by 2 scores. This game, you were up by 2 scores and you blew the game and lost.
Do it again.
That's 3 times in a season where you've blown a game against essentially playoff caliber teams. Like again, like I said, Denver Broncos, they're kind of on the fringe. But regardless, if you blow 3 games in one season as a head coach, that should cost you your job. That just shows me, okay, you can play an excellent 3 quarters for your team. You can coach up a good 3 quarters and have your team in position to win a game. The question is, can you finish and close the game out? And 3 times already this season, we failed to do that. It would have been 4 if not for the Monday Night Miracle against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. And honestly, those things right there, again, it's just indicative of how inept Matt Eberflus has been as head coach. Let's just get another one.
Get it offensive minded. It's Jim Harbaugh.
I think he ain't going. I don't think he's going anywhere. I really don't.
Hopefully,
why leave what you getting at Michigan just to come to the NFL and potentially be out of job in 2 to 3 years? Sure. And then on top of that, why would you want to come to the Chicago Bears with the McCaskey still at the helm? I mean, me personally, blow it up. And I'm talking about the coaching staff.
Yep.
Blow it up. The players I like. I mean, we got good players. We could use another wide receiver, another center, another right guard. But I think Poles has done a really good job in some holes that have been associated with this team for years.
Yeah. Anyways, we're basically out of time. We're gonna get out of here. We'll be back next week to talk about Bears Falcons. Now I hope the Bears lose that game, but probably not because Desmond Ridder's absolute garbage. Anyways, gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Chicago Bears content or anything else. Till then, guys, stay safe up there. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Yeah, peace.